Hello and welcome out to this episode of Outbreak Gamers. I'm your host, David Anthony, and my guest today is John the Wolf Man. Wolf, what's up, buddy?
What's up, Dave? How you doing, man? It's good to be on your show.
Thanks,
Outbreak
man.
Gamers, man. Super thrilled to be here and to get the invite from WebDave. After some of the icons that you've had on here recently, it's very humbling to get an invite from you, brother. And I look forward to
Well,
to just chatting about life and games, man.
there you go. There you go. Well, I mean, some people would say you're an icon there, buddy. So don't sell yourself short. Don't sell yourself
What
short.
that's the goal, right? That's the goal. We'll get
Exactly.
there. We'll get there,
Exactly.
Web.
Cool, dude, man. Thank you so much again for being here. I really appreciate that.
No
I
problem.
guess to kind of get things started, let's talk about how what kind of jobs have you had in your
Mm.
life in your career? Like because starting off for me, like I always kind of like to find out somebody was a paper boy or worked at a gas station or many people I've already talked to that
Yep.
have worked at KFC. So
Yeah,
so
for sure.
yeah.
For sure, yeah. So my first ever job that I can remember. Is it okay if I call you Dave, or do you prefer
You
Web
can
Dave? What
you can call me whatever you want.
WD? I mean
Dave,
WD.
David,
What? I'll call you
you
WD. How
can
about that?
call
I'll
me
be the first
Web
one.
Dave, the fat man, whatever it takes.
Nah. We'll do WD, dude. Okay.
Okay.
So WD. So
All right.
yeah. So the first job that I can remember off the top of my head, brother, was actually in a Microsoft software company. It was a small logistics company. I'm based out of Miami, Florida.
Wow.
And that's actually the very first job that I can remember that I had. It was packing software. They had me at the back of the assembly line. They would prep, the staff and the factory line. They would put in the software for Windows, flight simulator. I forgot, all the old 90s Microsoft software. And
Right.
then my job was to get about 10 software packages when they would come out of the little Ziploc thing that they would put around them, the seal,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
I would have to press them and then put them inside a box and then pack up the pallet of what we used to call. Now,
Yeah.
here's the thing, right? And funny story with that. I quickly had to learn, okay, that I quickly had to learn because they put me with a elderly gentleman. All right,
Oh no.
and he was a Spanish fella, okay, from he was Cuban, and
Mm-hmm.
and the funny thing is that this is exactly how he introduced me to my job function. Okay, he goes, "Come here." I'm like, "Okay." He goes, "This is how you do this. Packed up 10 quickly." He did his pallet. He goes, "You're gonna do one right next to me while I go sorting mine. Let me see how you do it." So I'm like, "Okay, no problem." So I'm there. I'm like, "Oh man, hey, this old man, he's pretty quick. All right, let me keep up. He's making this competitive. Holy crap!" And I'm talking about he must have been in his 70s. All
Yeah.
right, brother. So he's packing up the software really quick. I'm trying to keep up with him. I'm putting my boxes however I want it just to prove a point. Like, hey, I'm young. I'm a young buck. I'm the new. You're not gonna step all over me. I'm trying to put
Yep.
like trying to put my place, my foot down, right? So all of a sudden, he goes, we both pack up the pallet to as high as it can get, and he goes to me, try to kick mine down, try to kick that box right there, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna make you pick it up. Are you gonna pick it all up when I drop all of this? He goes, go ahead. So I go over, bah, kick that sucker. He goes, you see that? It's like a brick wall that ain't going nowhere. Let me see yours. Walked over to mine, dude, kicked it, everything stumbled all over the place. He goes, pick that shit up. He made me do it again. Brother, that was literally my first day on the job. That old
Wow.
man was awesome, dude. If he's still alive, I hope, God willing,
Yeah.
I wish him nothing but blessings, man. He taught me, what work was and how to do it well, and the importance of making sure that no matter how small the task was, it needed to be done right. So that I
Right.
appreciate from him.
Yeah, that's awesome,
And
man. That is awesome.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
dude. And to go from there, I've also
Mhm.
worked in I I worked in UPS as a packing trucks for about almost a month. I didn't even make it to a month. Okay, coming out of that logistics company,
Yeah.
I thought I was making a jump, to UPS. The potential of becoming a driver, eventually making more money. That was
Right.
always a thing. So I quickly learned again, slap of reality, what hard work was. Okay,
Right.
so the last day that I remember it vividly actually. there was a set of 4 tires that were tied together.
Mhm.
Okay. Heavy as crap, dude. I mean, I couldn't lift that thing up by myself. And back then, I mean, I've lost, my shape, and I'm a little overweight now, more than I like to be. But back then, I was working out all the time, dude. I was buff. I used to, work out and do a bunch of stuff, right?
Right.
So I didn't have no problem with physical labor. Okay, so just something about these tires, WD, I couldn't pick them up, dude. So I go ahead, and they had to call someone over. He helps me out, puts it on the thing. Pissed off at me, looking at me like, bro, why can't you do this by yourself? Whatever. But whatever. So I was drenched sweating that night for some reason. I wasn't feeling too well. And I told the assembly line supervisor, hey, I'm gonna go get some water real fast. He goes, no, you can't go get water. We got to finish these trucks right now. And I'm like, dude, I don't feel well. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go drink water. I don't care what you say. So he goes, if you go drink water, you're out of here. And I said, well, peace. So the only job in my life, WD, that I have ever quit
Yeah.
has been UPS, because I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not gonna be treated that way. So
Right.
and props to whoever works doing that, man. Props to you men and women out there.
Yeah.
Obviously we all do what we got to do for the to earn an income. Okay,
Mhm.
so God bless everyone out there. Lots of prayers to you. And then quickly after that, dude, this is another funny story. Okay, because
Mhm.
I was helping out my mom. She had opened up some like a medical like a medical office where she was doing billing for a lot of doctors. So
Nice.
she needed kind of like an IT person.
Mm.
I was tech savvy.
Right.
So she's like, hey, look, just come over, help me in the office. I'll pay you a few $100 every week. So just help me out, anything technical, help me figure this stuff out, print out these pages for me. So I was basically my mom's assistant. It's what I was,
Nice.
to be honest with you.
Right.
So the business was going, and I get I wanted I'm one of those people, Dave, that I like, even though that I understand that family wants to help out. I'm a big firm believer that you got to kind of set your own way, and you can't depend on family and friends and stuff like that. You have
Right.
to, you got to learn in life, and you got to take chances and risk. And I mean, it's nice to have family that wants to help you, but you
Exactly.
gotta,
That
you
is.
gotta, you gotta take the ball and run with it yourself, because that's the
Mhm.
only way you grow as a person. And you got to make mistakes. In other words, okay,
Yeah.
something that so many people are afraid to do. You got to make mistakes. Okay, so I go and I'm applying everywhere, and I'm like, you know what? I love video games. Why don't I apply in GameStop? Okay, so
Mhm.
I go and I apply in a GameStop, and in a mall, which it's a local mall by here. And dude, the interview goes well. I sit down with the manager there. He's telling me, hey, so you know about video games, this and that, asking me questions. I'm answering everything. I'm like, oh yeah, dude, I follow the industry, this and that. I know that right now these are the games that are upcoming this holiday. Obviously, I'll be able to cross sell and all that stuff that you guys do here in GameStop. Dude, a perfect fit for that, for a job like that, right? So
Mhm.
he's impressed, and he's like, this is all he tells me. Come back on Monday at I forgot the time. It was probably 12:01. I forgot what time he said. Come back Monday, blah blah blah. Okay. I'm like, oh my God, I got the job. I'm like, this is awesome. I got the job. So I go home. Brother, I show up on the Monday dressed like if I was gonna work. I walk in, and he looks at me like, and he stays kind of like that. And I'm looking at him like, all right, dude, well, ready to go. What do we do? And he goes, um, okay, grabs the application, grabs a pen, and tells me, here's the application and here's the pen. And I'm like, what do you mean? I was like, what is happening here? And mind you, WD, I'm young, I'm younger
Yeah.
here. I'm not sure how this thing is supposed to work, that I was
Right.
supposed to
Right.
do an application and an acceptance and all that. So I
Yeah.
just thought I had the job. So he made
Mhm.
it seem that way, like the way he came across, which maybe it's a me problem, but that's the way I took it.
Right. Right.
So
No.
so all of a sudden, dude, right? He's like,
Honest mistake. Jeez.
yeah, I'm a dumbass. It's my fault, but
No.
whatever. So then he goes, yeah, fill out the application, and we'll let you know. I'm like, but mind you, that was embarrassing, brother, because I had my
Yeah.
lunch bag, and he knew that I was ready to work right there down that day.
Right.
I don't know if it was miscommunication. I don't know if he just I
Yeah.
forgot. I don't know if he hired someone else. He never, but he's like, fill out the application. Needless to say, I didn't get the job, nor did I get a call back. Okay. So I don't know
Right.
what happened there. But
Right.
like everything in life, brother, when you're a firm believer that there's greater things to
Mm-hmm.
follow, okay, things happen for a reason. Not 1 week later do I get a call from a financial institution, right?
Mm-hmm.
So financial institution calls me up and says, "Hey, we saw your resume. Come in for an interview. There's a teller position open. You want to come in and interview?" All right, perfect. Buy myself a white shirt, black slacks, everything, the works. Show up, dude, and me and the woman that would eventually hire me, the branch manager where I was at, hit it
Mm-hmm.
off real well. There was, there was just a level of understanding that I was just looking for an opportunity. I was hungry for someone to give me a chance.
Yeah.
And she, I guess, recognized that. Ended up working in a financial institution as a teller, and I've worked my way up where I eventually transitioned. I started, going to school for criminal justice, and
Wow. Nice.
the natural, and I got also an associate's in IT. And the national progression came in where one day there was a breakthrough, and that was that while I was working in the I had been promoted to work as a relationship manager. You know how those dudes or women are working in the front that take care of the customer service, open the
Yeah.
accounts and all that. I stumbled across some dude trying to commit fraud. Okay.
Ooh.
And I remember that I handled it real well. As soon as I saw the check or whatever it was that he gave, I don't remember right now, but I handled it composed, told the gentleman to sit down, contacted the customer, confirmed it was fraudulent, called the police. I handled everything without contacting our fraud department of that financial institution at that time. Arrests are made, everything is perfect. Then the manager of the fraud department comes down and is like, "Did you handle all this by yourself?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of know a thing or two about criminal justice, I'm all this stuff." And she's like, "We got an opening coming up. Are you interested?" And I'm like, yeah, let me hear about it. Sure, why not? I mean,
Nice.
I was just doing my thing. I'm just trying to do good work here for the financial institution. And yeah, brother, she gave me a chance. I met with her, and that's where my career path took me, and that's where I'm at now. I am what you would consider a team leader for the fraud investigations team of a very large financial institution. And yeah, man, I love what I do. I see something. I see new things every day. I'm constantly involved with law enforcement, learning, the things about the dark web, all that good stuff.
Wow. Yeah.
Constantly involved with cyber crimes. So
Cool.
I've seen, yeah, dude, it's very challenging, and it's very tedious at times, and we're busy. I was working the other night up to 9 p.m., but dude, it's a
Wow.
nice career. It's well paid,
Yeah.
and I'm very grateful for everyone that gave me the opportunity, man, to get to where I am. I really am.
That's awesome, man. That is really awesome. I mean, and it sounds like you're happy with what you're doing.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely, dude.
good.
You, I don't know if it's happened to you, Dave, and I don't know if people can relate that I'm listening to. Um, the I've always had, and even now, starting this podcast thing. Okay,
Hmm.
I like to be real so that people know who I am, right?
Right.
I've always had this, not this chip on my shoulder, man, because that's not what it is. Nobody's doing that to me. Okay,
Right.
it just comes from within. I just want to I don't know why I feel like if I have to prove that I can do things. You know what I'm saying? I don't
Hmm.
know why. I don't know where that comes from. I don't know where that stems from. If I'm given an opportunity, brother, I got a sleeve of tattoos. I'm not your out of your ordinary banker that you would see and you would expect,
Yep.
but I'm good, and I believe I know my worth, and I know what the qualities, what I bring, and I want to apply the same thing to this YouTube thing, to my channel, where
Hmm.
I know what I can give. And if there's millions of people doing this, I believe that I can also contribute. So that's one of those things, that I don't know, dude. It's kind of weird. I don't know if it's the beer or what.
No, no, not at all, man. That's awesome, man. I mean, it's if you don't enjoy what you're doing, then why be doing it?
Exactly.
That's the thing. And I know there's sometimes when in life where it's like you have to do certain things to get to a certain point, but once you're at that certain point and you're comfortable where you can kind of pick and choose your direction of jobs or things like that, if that if you're blessed enough to have that come up. but to actually, work at something that you enjoy, and I assume it's work from home mainly.
It is now, yeah.
Yeah,
The
there you go.
pandemic took everyone for a wild ride, and the
Yep,
financial institution has shifted to. They saw that the work can be handled from home, and
yep,
they trust us. And
yeah.
obviously, with that comes the old Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. We
Yep.
gotta we gotta provide the results in order to keep the perk.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Well, our it's sort of the same situation as far as the work from home part. Um, that my particular team, our productivity increased 30%
Wow.
over, yeah, because we were just like, we didn't have to worry about rushing to get to work and it's like, you take your break, or you take your lunch, you know, go on break, run to the next room, come right back, you're jumping right back in it. And so they were like, hmm. And my entire team, over 500 people, are all
Wow.
permanently work from home now. Yep.
Good for you.
So,
Good for you guys.
yeah,
Good for everyone. Hey,
no
you know,
idea how
I
much I love it.
and I think that we can kind of relate to this. We
Hmm.
maybe if you disagree, that's okay. I
That's
love
all right.
I love when people disagree because I like hearing different point of views. Okay,
Right.
that's something that I'm learning with this whole YouTube Twitter thing.
Yeah.
Um, I think that what companies need to realize is that that traditional mold
Right.
of going having employees go to work on a 9 to 5, 9 to 6 basis, that's old school mentality.
Hmm.
You, in my opinion, you can get so much more from your employees if you allow them, give them the flexibility. And of course, it depends on your job function.
Of
You
course.
can't
Yeah.
you can't expect people that are front facing with
Right.
customers. There, unfortunately, you're not going to get that luxury. But
I
for
have a new
people that
respect for frontline people. I'll tell you that.
yeah, no, for sure. But for those individuals that are in, in careers and jobs that you can get the work done, and it's not time sensitive. It's like,
Hmm.
hey, this needs to be done by a certain date. If you allow the individual to choose the way that they work more, uh, that they're more productive, it
Hmm.
works out better, dude. There's days that I'll wake up a little bit earlier. I can tune out all the noise and I'm able to focus on projects, on reports, and they
Yeah.
get done because the old way was I would have to lock myself in an office where I was working so that no
Right.
one can bother me. And people were still bothering me. So it's one of those
Yep.
things. And understandably so, it's part of the gig when you're the lead. So and one of those things that it's just to me it's a nice you're giving your employee the chance to exceed because
Hmm.
you're giving them the keys and you're telling them take care of your life stuff. Your work life balance
Yep.
is just something that is easier to manage in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Right there with you. So John, let's and since that's up to your current career path, as it were, let's start. Let's go back to obviously it's about outbreak gamers. So let's get to like what your first experience was in playing video games. Like, I mean,
Mm.
I mean, very first, like me
Yeah.
was an arcade. That's what introduced me first. But
It's funny because you're asking me this question. This is kind of like the questions that I'm asking my guests. So it's a
that's
little weird
good.
to have it be on me. Okay, so my first gaming memory, WD, to be honest with you,
Hmm.
is the messing around with the Nintendo Entertainment System, the NES.
Nice.
I was born in '83,
Mm,
so
young
my
pup.
nah, I don't feel that way. So I remember vividly, right? Like
Mhm.
my going to my cousin's house, and they had this box set up, and they were playing Duck Hunt, and they were cheating. Okay, I'm gonna call you girls out. You were cheating. They were putting the gun up to the screen. Uh, yeah, I mean, I
Yep.
did it too. I did it too. So when nobody was looking,
Mm,
but I remember them playing Duck Hunt, and I'm like, man, what is this? Because I was a big action figure kid. Okay,
yeah.
and at the time, that's what my mom could afford. So every time my mom would get paid, she would take me to Toys R Us or another toy store,
Mhm.
and she would let me pick one thing. She would be like, "Hey, listen, $5, no more than that. Go ahead, get whatever you want. So I went ahead and I got I had a huge collection of Ninja Turtles, He-Man figures, Power Rangers, the works,
Hmm.
right? So there was the Nintendo though, dude, is something that I wanted. So I bugged the hell out of my mom for one. Okay, I still remember bugging her for it. Okay, and the things
Hmm.
I would just invent these scenarios like, "Hey, mom, you know that if I were to get this, you know that you wouldn't need to buy me so many toys, right?" Dude, I would try to justify this thing, a con
Right.
man, all right, from the
There you
beginning.
go.
So
Hmm.
so so she mustered up the money, man. I don't know what she had to do. She's never told me the story or whatever, but she was able to and if my mom's listening to this, I love you, mom. Thank you. So
There you
so
go.
she was able to
Mm.
gather the funds and surprised me, man. I got home one day
Nice.
and I remember because my cousins had the one with the red gun because they were both females,
Oh
and my
yeah,
mom
yeah.
was able to get me the one with the gray gun because
Yep.
obviously it was more marketed towards boys.
Yeah.
So that's my first right off the bat memory that I can remember, Super Mario Brothers. I didn't have the luxury though, like I'm telling you, the funds thing where it was kind of hard. So I didn't have a huge game library. I was fortunate enough to maybe have 5 games during the whole span of the time I had the Nintendo. I
Hmm.
remember having the Simpsons game that had Bart Simpson with a little skateboard or whatever.
Yep.
I remember having that. Dude, that Souls like Ninja Turtles game, okay?
Yeah.
That man, that game was tough, brother.
Yep.
And I think I remember having, if I'm not mistaken, Pitfall maybe.
Cool.
Uh Maybe. I don't remember that one if it's Pitfall 100%, but it
Right.
was 5 games the most. Yeah, so that's my earliest memory of gaming, brother, that I can be honest with you, that I can remember.
That's nice. That's nice. So I guess then you obviously you graduated up to some to more advanced systems, and then
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
the John Wolf. I guess you got the X John Wolf X. So is that your gamer tag?
It is.
Cool.
When I made the decision to start doing the social media
Hmm.
content creating thing, I really thought about, a name. I really thought about something where everybody can reach me. I
Hmm.
kind of got the idea, to be honest with you, from Dealer because John Wolf was taken,
Right.
and I'm like, shit, what do I do now? And I'm
Hmm.
like, oh, you know what? Dealer has 2 little sticks in front and 2 little sticks on back. Let me
Hmm.
give that a try. It was taken. So I am like, okay, how can I get creative here? So
Yep.
I want to credit maybe brother. I don't remember exactly. It might have been my wife, or I don't remember if it was her or me who kind of
Hmm.
thought of this. But and shout out to my wife, dude. She's 100% supporter in everything that I do. So
Awesome.
I love you, honey.
Makes a big
So
difference.
yeah, for sure, dude. So I remember that yeah, man, I came up with the little X's and I'm like, this is it. It fits.
Yeah.
It fits with what I'm trying to do here with the um with the character that I'm trying to portray here. Not
Hmm.
and don't get things twisted. All right. Don't get things twisted to you or to audience members.
Okay.
w- the I'm not trying to portray a character. However,
Right.
I understand the importance of branding. Okay.
Yep.
That's something that I think it's important for this medium. That's something that I think that, if you want to reach the levels that I want to reach, that I aspire to, there was a brand that I wanted to have. So the
Yeah.
John Wolf brand was born.
Very cool. That's very cool. And I jokingly it called you the Wolf Man at first when I first come on. I'm old school, so like Wolfman Jack. I'm thinking, oh, Wolfman
Yeah.
John.
Hey
So
man,
he,
that that
he,
that
he's a
that works
legend.
for me, brother. If I'm calling you WD, you can call me whatever the hell you want.
As long as you don't put 40 after, we're okay. Ah,
No, man, you might have.
no
I don't want no
squeaking here
legal,
on Dave. I'm just
brother.
kidding.
The with the production level I see here, I don't want them to even think of a lawsuit. Okay.
That's funny. That's funny. Oh goodness, goodness. Now they're probably like free advertisement. Score.
For sure. I got a can of that. I think I got a can of that right in my closet right there.
Dude, I got a couple of cans under the sink. There's one out in the
I, I,
garage.
I think.
It's a lifesaver.
Listen, to all the gentlemen, listen out there.
Hmm.
If you don't have let me look at the camera on this. If you
Yeah,
don't
go
have
for it.
if you don't have a can of WD somewhere, Doing it
Mhm.
wrong, guys. Your
Exactly.
woman, your
Exactly.
woman expects you to at least fix a squeaky closet door. Okay, come on, guys.
Unless you're the woman that can do all that without a man. Just saying,
Oh, yeah.
there's
Hey,
women
hey,
out there that are quite
hey.
powerful.
No, absolutely. I know for a fact my wife is one of those, but I
There
have to
you
kind of
go.
wrestle. I kind of have to wrestle her away. No, I want to do it,
That's
but
funny.
she's more
That's
than
funny.
willing, and probably
Uh,
she'll probably do it better than me, to be honest.
that's what happens to me, man. It's like, honey, let me do something so I don't look so bad. Thanks.
For
He's the
sure.
best. Yeah, exactly. Oh goodness. So kind of like where do we go from here? Oh goodness. So let's no, sorry, I got a little sidetracked.
No, you're good,
Um
man.
but no, the let's get into I guess you're doing your work. You're just kind of started your channel not too long ago.
Yeah, about
So
3 or 4 months.
there you go. No, but I mean, have you done anything before that? Did you do guest on spots? Were you just like me and just like listen to a lot of people, or
Yeah,
so
yeah,
how'd your channel come about? Let's go from there.
sure, sure. That's a great question. So, um, let's go back to the Xbox 360 days.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
During the Xbox 360 days, for the listeners, for your listeners or viewers,
Hmm.
I am an Xbox centric gamer. I have been since about year 2 of the original Xbox. Okay.
Fair enough.
I picked up the original Xbox on its second year, and
Mhm.
since then it's been my preferred platform. I play everything. I play on everything. But what I consider home is the Xbox ecosystem, right?
Mhm.
So, um, I want to say that around the Xbox 360 time, uh, I started to get more involved with learning about the industry. Okay,
Mhm.
I stumbled upon Major Nelson's podcast.
Yeah, he's
I
good.
I he's a legend. I
Yep.
stumbled across Gamertag Radio and Godfrey, and the crew over there, Paris.
Yep.
Which Paris wasn't a full time member when I started listening to back in the day.
Mhm.
Excuse me.
That's okay.
So, um, I started seeing that there was a movement behind talking about video games in the industry, and
Mhm.
so since the Xbox 360 days, there's just something about speculation, people giving their opinions on where these companies are going, their next moves. Dude, this used to be playground talk, for me with my
Yeah.
buddies in school. And also with my some of my family members. We used to talk about gaming all the time and speculate and do events and host things in people's houses, Halo events, wrestling events, to play the SmackDown games and the No Mercies of the world. So
Mhm.
gaming is in our culture, okay, in
Yeah.
my family culture, it just is. So um I would consider myself to be kind of like the hardest core, I guess you can say, of the family.
Mhm.
But still, it's still something that almost every family member knows about and does, right?
Right.
So um when I started learning about that, I always visualized myself doing something like that, because again, it's one of those things where where it's like, why not me? Why can't I try this?
Sure.
Why can't I do this? If I have this idea in my head that God has planted there, the seed. Why can't I do this? So it's one of those things that all the excuses in the world were being made. Okay, life happens, getting busy. I buy a capture card. Now's the time. Never use it. Set up the stream. Oh, Twitch is a thing now. Let me get on Twitch. Let me set up the page. Making excuses for myself. Oh, I'm too busy. I got too much work. I can't do this. Not
Right.
right now. I'll get to it eventually. So around 2013, during the Xbox One launch, um, the media was really hard on Xbox. Rightfully so. For some things, not so much for others, right?
Right.
So when the shift that I saw that kind of took me away from the media stuff, from the social media stuff and the podcast scene and listening to different podcasts, was that everybody was just dogpiling Xbox for different reasons that were not constructive criticism. Okay, what I consider to be constructive criticism. I am a big advocate of giving these companies constructive criticism because without that criticism, Xbox isn't where we are today.
Right.
PlayStation doesn't reach the levels that they have reached today, and neither does Nintendo.
Right.
Okay, so for there's a difference between a fanboy and a fan. All
Right.
right,
Big
and and
difference.
and a fanboy will make justifications, excuses, pretend and put themselves in the company's shoes as if they are part of the team.
Right.
I'm not part of Team Xbox. Okay.
Right.
I am a consumer of Xbox and I just my preferred platform.
Right.
Okay.
Hmm.
So if they stumble, I'm gonna be vocal about it. I'm not gonna cry about it. I'm gonna be vocal about it. I'm gonna give my opinion.
Hmm.
Maybe it's wrong, Dave. I don't know. I I
Well, everybody's
it's
entitled to their opinions, dude.
I I'm not I will never say that I'm right. I will never say that this is the way. I'm just saying this is my way. This is my way of
Yeah.
thinking. Okay?
Fair
So
enough.
when that was going on, I just wasn't agreeing with what a lot of people were saying. I was experiencing different experiences. I'm like this isn't as bad as people are making it out to be. I'm
Right.
invested in the all digital future that Microsoft is pushing. The DRM thing is not to many it's a big deal, rightfully so, but to me I can live with it, right? So I'm not seeing eye to eye there. It's not a big deal to me. um so whatever. So to fast forward a little bit, right? um Completely out of the podcasting. That's it, done. I don't want to listen to these fanboys and these crazy people
Mhm.
talking anymore. I just want to do me and enjoy gaming. Okay,
Yep.
that's it. So life happens again, and little by little, here comes the launch of the Xbox Series X. Okay, uh, dude, for some reason, I stumble upon Mr. Boomstick's channel. Okay, Double Barrel Gaming.
Mhm.
I don't remember if it was the Xbox Factor podcast or Breakfast with Boom. I don't remember which one it
Right.
was, but I was on vacation and I vividly remember being in my mom's vacation home that she used to have,
Mhm.
and I'm like, let me listen to what these guys are gonna say. Probably trashing, probably talking smack. Let me just whatever. I was bored,
Mhm.
um, and I'm hearing actual conversation. I'm
Yeah.
hearing constructive criticism. I'm hearing exactly the way that I think, which is what I consider to be logically. I
Yeah.
like dialogue. I enjoy it because for me to grow as a person, for me to learn new things, I need to listen to your point of view.
Right.
I don't need to agree with it, WD. All right.
Mhm.
But I need to give you the benefit of the doubt and listen to you because you come with your own experiences, with your own ideas, and with your own thoughts. And again, as radical as they may be, as logical as they may be, I gotta give you the time of day to at least listen to you.
Mhm.
Okay. If we're agreeing to be on on a show to do so. Okay.
Right.
So then so then when I'm hearing this, I'm like, man, you know what? I started listening every week. And then through Boom Show, I found RDX. And then
Yep.
Lord, and then the Iron Lords, and then
Mhm.
vice versa. With all the great Randolph, Thor, all these men and women out here that are creating great content at the end of the
Mhm.
day. Okay, way better content than even the actual companies that are being paid to do so.
Most
Okay,
times,
this
yep.
is and the reason why I kind of appreciated it was because it was from a gamer's perspective, consumer's perspective.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it that no one is paid here for their opinion because the Xbox ain't gonna pay us, man. It's just
Mm.
for anyone else that thinks that Colt and Rand and all these guys are paid by Xbox. Come on, like let's be real here. So then um I I mustered up the courage one day and I'm like, man, I want to talk about something. Like I want to talk to these guys, right? So
Yeah.
then my wife is God bless my wife, man. Again, I shout out to her. And I mean she's awesome, dude. So one day we like talking about stuff with each other. Obviously, I consider her my best friend. So I'm like, hey babe, look what's happening now, with this dialogue here, where just hear me out for 5 minutes and I'll shut up about it. I promise. Okay. So, of course, listening to me, being supportive wife, all that stuff, probably going in one ear out the other, not just like, but she's being supportive. She's hearing me out. She goes, why didn't you ask to be on one of those shows, or why didn't you start your own? And I'm like, no, babe, who's gonna want to listen to what I gotta say? And on top of that, more importantly, I'm very reserved. WD, I'm a very private person. I'm very
Right.
reserved. I'm one of those dudes that I feel like, if my opinion is mine and that's it, man. And I, not that I don't care what no one else's opinion is, because that's contrary to what I just said prior,
Right.
but I don't like telling people, oh, I think this and you should think this way. And she helped me look at it from a different perspective. And
Very
and she
nice.
said and she said, take this into consideration. Why don't you try it to see if you like it? You haven't even tried. And I
Mhm.
go, man, and that's when the light bulb went on, and I'm like, baby, you know what? You're right. Yeah, I can't tell you that I don't want to do this because I haven't tried it yet. So I sent a message, DM to Boom, and I said,
Mhm.
Boom, you don't even know me, brother. I don't know you. Would it be okay with you if I appeared on one of your shows one day? Brother, within the day he responds to me, he goes, listen, as long as you got a camera and a mic, and not even a camera, I'm sorry. As long as you got a computer and a mic, you, we're good to go. This is what we're about. He made it clear. This is what
Yep.
we're about. And I would love to have you on if you understand. And I said, I understand, dude. So I appeared as a guest. I came on camera. I'm like, no, I'm gonna come on camera because I'm gonna show you that respect. You're giving me this chance. You're gonna
Yep.
see who I am. And in about right before the launch of the Xbox Series X and the S, I came on. We talked about many things, about the direction of Sony, I think, because they had just announced that they removed the Jim Ryan wanted, I guess, to make it more uniform by removing the X or whatever, switching out the buttons. I forgot what it was,
Right.
but where in Japan X was circle, the whole thing on
Right. He
PlayStation.
reversed the basically the A
Yeah,
and B button. Yeah.
yeah, that was a topic there of
Yep.
debate. I think there was a few games or whatever, but the bottom line is, WD, it was a great time, and
Yeah.
they gave me the time, they gave me the respect, to just go out there and say what I wanted. I didn't agree with everyone,
Right.
I had my own opinion, and um, it came to a point that Boom started reaching out and started saying, hey, do you want to maybe come up on this time? And work was pretty hectic for me. WD.
Mhm.
The thing about my industry is that it's a roller coaster. One week I can be perfectly okay, and then the next month it's just all hectic. So
Yep.
that's kind of how I got into this, right? So then um, I made a couple more appearances on several other shows. K Mega is another person that gave me a chance to be on his show. Super appreciative.
Cool.
Even though, yeah, very heavily opinionated, very strong willed, and I
Right.
appreciate that. Doesn't mean we need to agree, but
Right.
I respect where he's coming from, and he gave me a chance there too. So I started boosting my confidence a little bit. Like, hey, I can do this. And then hearing some feedback from my wife, hearing some feedback from the panel members, they're like, hey, dude, you're pretty good at this. Like, keep at it, whatever, blah, blah. And I'm like, you know what? Thank you. I appreciate that. So I'm like, well, at least I don't sound like total trash. So, you
No,
know,
you sound
uh,
great.
at least I can carry a conversation. At least I
Mhm.
can, and more importantly, contribute something to the
Right.
conversation. Okay. I think that's the
Yep.
most important. That's something that I put in my mind, that I'm like, if I'm gonna do this, I want to contribute to the conversation, not just throw random thoughts out there and
Right.
just tag along or whatever. So then I got an itch to buy myself a PC. Okay. And shout out again to my wife, dude. It's gonna be a constant thing tonight because obviously behind a great man is a great woman, right? So
Exactly.
so honestly, I'm gonna buy the PC. I made up my mind. And she comes to me and she tells me, listen, if you're going to buy that PC, why don't you take it serious? Why don't you start your own thing? And I'm like, here we go with the excuses again. babe, I don't know. I bought so many capture
Mhm.
cards in my life, so many microphones. In the back of my head, for some reason, I thought I would fail and I thought I wasn't going to go through with it. But you know what? I pulled through and I said, let's do it. I went ahead and I made the channel, started investing in some layouts, started investing in, just learning about
Mhm.
what this, all of this is about, doing research on the mics, doing research on the headset,
Mhm.
working on the camera placement, the lighting, whatever I could to learn about this, right? And then she tells me, just go on there, speak your mind, whatever it'll be, you'll get better with time. So I started the channel, and on my earliest videos I sound really nervous, really weird. I think it's natural for anyone that's listening to this and you want to just give this a chance.
Yep.
You're gonna sound nervous, and that's okay. um I feel today, 3 or 4 months later, so much better than I did on my first day. Um, I still
Good.
get yeah, I still get the butterflies, brother. Of course I do,
Yeah.
but I feel it's getting more natural now, and I think that that's something that I heard a lot of content creators say, that it becomes natural. I feel personally that what I can contribute to the conversation of this industry that we all love so much, brother, I've lived in it. I've been a gamer since I was 8 years old, 8 years old.
Yep.
I've owned multiple consoles. I've watched countless E3s. I've have dedicated so much time, hours into this industry. I'm passionate about it. I still giddy like a little kid. I still
Mhm.
get hyped. I start sweating at E3s. I can't sleep the night before a launch. I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and line up just to make sure I can reserve my consoles. That's something that will never go away, no matter how old I am.
Right.
So I feel like if my conversation is valid, okay, as a consumer, I spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on video games across the board. I can talk about it because I
Yeah.
put my money where my mouth is.
Yeah.
And I feel that every consumer, no matter if you spend $1 or hundreds of thousands of dollars, you have the right to your opinion.
Mhm.
And that's something I'm big on. Then I don't know if it has to do with my morals, with my I don't know. I don't know what it is, but
Right.
it's something that I strongly believe in. Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, man. So started doing that, Dave, and right now up to, I think, episode 9 or 10 of the Wolfpack Gaming Podcast.
Nice.
And yeah, dude. It's been great, dude. Had a guest such as Kea Sante. Kea Sante was actually my very first guest. Shout out
Nice.
to you. Shout out to everybody that has appeared. Had King David on, Big Cloud Gaming, K Mega, uh, Crispy from our
Mhm.
panel that he'll
Oh
be
yeah.
on sometimes, and Crispy actually gave the nod to Boom to say, "Hey, why
He
don't you give
did.
this? Why don't you give John a chance?" And Crispy, man, thank you, dude. You don't know what a difference that makes to me, brother, and for you to have that vote of confidence in me, I truly appreciate that. And I know that I'll never be able to probably live up to those shoes, man, but I'm gonna damn well try. So, so many members, man, about 9 or 10 members. Sorry if I missed anyone, but I appreciate you all.
Oh man, and dude, I know you're very humble, and that's great. But you're doing a great job. You've been on for us, like, I think, your third week, and you're doing a really really good job. So, and I'm
Appreciate
I'm the new guy too, dude. When it comes to that
it.
show, even though I was on radio for 5 years, this is a little bit of a different animal,
Yeah,
but I
yeah,
enjoy it. I enjoy it a lot,
yeah, yeah.
So, but
I,
yeah,
I,
it's go ahead.
I think, and I'm sorry to interrupt you,
No, no.
WD, but I think the most important thing for anyone listening to this is that, um, as we talked about in the green room right prior,
Hmm.
you need, in my opinion, okay, again, it's not, doesn't mean it's right, but this is just my point of view.
Yep.
You got to be real,
Yes.
okay, and you can't be afraid of the consequences. You can't be afraid of what people are going to say about you. If you feel differently about something, as long as it's done in a respectful manner, constructive, you're good to go. When it comes to a level of disrespect and childish behavior, you're done. You're not. You're gonna get muted out.
Yeah.
I've learned in life. I've learned those lessons, the way that I've interacted with people in the past. So I'm not perfect. It's something that I continue to work on,
Right.
and that's something that I just want to throw out there to whoever's listening. Constructive criticism, man, and just do it respectfully.
Exactly. Exactly. And like they always say, man, you can't win the lottery if you don't ever play. So
Yeah,
it's
sure.
always good to just get out there and give it a shot. And there's Mr. Boomstick's first episode. I don't know if you've ever listened to it. It's pretty rough, but he
I
did it, and it's under
yeah,
his belt, and that's the thing. That's how I grow. And now look at his
yeah.
juggernaut. Yeah, I mean,
He's
it's amazing the products he puts out, and the time and the effort he puts into his shows is
dude.
second to
There's
none. He's amazing.
incredible,
Yes.
and shout out to Boom Man for
Yes.
for being an individual, and K Mega as well. I got to shout
Mhm.
out K Mega, man, because
Sure.
again, it's just people that understand that there's people like me and you, WD, that just need a chance to come up on a show,
Sure.
and they open up their platform. They don't
It's
need to do
awesome.
that,
Exactly.
but they've done so in order to bring in fresh blood, in order to give others a chance. And I really appreciate that, and that's something that at the end of the day, you can't take away from those individuals.
Exactly right. I agree with you 100%. All right, so John, let's excuse me, let's take this in a little bit different direction.
Sure.
We're going to talk about we're going to talk take a little bit of time and talk about gaming. I mean like real gaming, like right now what is going on. This is going to air a couple of weeks from now, so
Okay.
who knows what might play out, but it definitely will go up before the before the event that Microsoft is having. So the
Right.
showcase is coming up. So this will air before then. So just to
Yeah.
give you a mindset. But as far as like
Gotcha.
what recently happened and what's what's going on as far as the industry, what are your feelings about the way the industry is going right now?
Dude, it's I hear Punk Soul say this a lot about the golden age of gaming. I
Yes.
couldn't agree. I couldn't agree more with that, because
Amen.
it's so nice to see all three companies striving. It's nice to see so many options out there for consumers, right? Um Back in the day, WD, I wish that my mom had the opportunity to be able to get me a system for $25 or $35 a month with hundreds of games.
Yeah.
Um, it just wasn't feasible, man. It just wasn't feasible. And the thing is that there's so many options for consumers now, right? To jump in, you don't necessarily need current gen hardware. You don't need a Xbox Series X or S or PlayStation 5. You can get away for the most part with a PS4 and still an Xbox One.
Hmm.
I own a bunch of consoles, WD, because I like to keep consoles, and
Me
I'm
too.
nostalgic that way and stuff like that. But I was playing my Xbox One the other day, my One S the other day in the room, and I fired up a game. I think it was Darksiders 2. I was playing on the X on the big screen,
Hmm.
and then I went and I transitioned over to the One S to play in the room because I wanted to spend some time with my wife.
Hmm.
And the drop off wasn't that much, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, was the enhanced X version better visually? Yeah, it was. I'm not gonna
Right.
lie, but the drop off wasn't where it's like, oh, this is unplayable. No, it was playable,
Right.
very playable.
Hmm.
So there's so many options for consumers nowadays. You have Nintendo offering consumers the Nintendo Switch OLED for your more premium experience. Your middle of the line, their normal, Switch. If you're someone that never wants to play on the TV, they've even given you an option there with a light. How awesome is that? And
Right.
that's something that I think that we should champion, which is choice. Um, Sony also gives kudos to them, even though that sometimes we're more critical on the PlayStation side. Kudos to them, they deliver fantastic first party games.
Right.
They want to give the illusion of a premium experience. That's their that's their perspective, that's the direction they want to take their
Right.
company. But they also offer a service that has a lot of games in it, that if you have a PlayStation 4, you can take advantage over a PS5.
Hmm.
Um, Also, not to mention that they do have a cheaper version of their current gen, which is the PS4 digital. That's the one that I have.
Nice.
It's a full $100 less. Obviously, it is the unicorn because I've never, and I don't know if this is true or not. It's just what I see online. It's considered the unicorn because it's almost impossible to get. Okay, I was able
Yeah.
to get it on launch day, so I don't know. I,
Yep.
I
Yep.
have no idea. But I really like the direction, brother, that these companies have taken. I like the fact that uh they have all occupied, better said, their own lane. Okay,
Hmm.
I think that a pivotal moment in the gaming industry was the Wii. Okay, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Hmm.
I think that the Wii was the first time that any of the three companies said we're done trying to compete head to head with you, and that was Nintendo. They
Hmm.
they said we're not going to compete anymore with PlayStation directly or Xbox. We're going to target a whole new audience. We're going in a whole new direction, and
Yep.
boy, did that pay off for them, right?
It did. Yep.
It paid off for them because now you were, in my opinion, before it was more of a brand loyalty thing. It was more of training your consumer to upgrade to the latest and greatest. Now you're telling them, and you're saying, hey, we're taking this new direction. Are you with us? Come along for the ride. Okay.
Yep.
And we know what the Wii did for the industry. It sold like gangbusters. My freaking mom had one. All right,
Yeah.
WD, and
Yeah.
she's never gamed a day in her life, and she bought it for the bowling game. All
Yeah.
right,
A lot of
so
nursing homes bought those just to
right,
get them their I guess their
right,
clients up and moving. So yeah, there you go.
right. So again, I preface this everything that I say
Hmm.
with the importance. It's my point of view. Doesn't mean it's right. I
Right.
like
Right.
to throw that out there. So
Yep.
then, another thing that happened that I kind of saw the industry shift was that the Xbox this generation, okay, kind of got tired of competing with PlayStation head to head. Okay. Guess what, people? And I'm saying this as an Xbox centric gamer. Hot take here on Outbreak Gamers. WD, Xbox lost. They lost the head to head.
Oh yeah.
Okay. There's nothing wrong with admitting that. All right. They got their teeth kicked in during the Xbox One generation. I
Yep.
even think they will admit that. Okay. So what did they do? Like any great company, like any great leader does, Phil Spencer, you
Yep.
pivot.
Yep.
You work to your strengths, and you say, we're done trying to chase what these other guys are doing, and that's the PlayStation side.
Hmm.
PlayStation, in my opinion, right now, they're sitting in a they're sitting they're trying to balance. They're doing a balancing act, right? Where
Hmm.
they are trying to give the illusion to their customers of premium, 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 right?
Right.
Because they're trying to be like Apple. They're trying to leverage their IPs like Nintendo so that when the new God of War comes out, it sells 20 million, 30 million, 40 million copies, just
Right.
like Nintendo has been able to succeed. So PlayStation is more, to me, they like looking and learning from everyone else, and then they adjust as needed. Okay.
Right.
From me, PlayStation, you don't look for that company to lead the charge when it comes to pushing the industry forward. Okay, when it comes to tech, when it comes to online gaming like Xbox did back in the day, when it comes to engaging the casual audience like
Hmm.
Nintendo did, and now like Xbox is doing again with the subscription service model. Okay,
Right.
so then finally, let's end up with Xbox here. Let me
Hmm.
go back to what I was saying.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
This is the first generation where Xbox has finally said, "We're not your little brother anymore, PlayStation."
Yep.
I we glowed up. Okay, Xbox started going to the gym, started doing their squats, deadlifts. Hey, I don't need. We ain't competing with you no more, man. So what
Yeah.
are we gonna do now? We're gonna Game Pass is our push because we are a software company that is heavily reliant on subscription, right? On the subscription model. This is what we do. We do software. So yeah, we're still going to offer hardware to our consumer base. We're going to Xbox is the most popular brand that is within Microsoft. They're the cool kids, okay? Who wants to shout out to the world that they work on the Excel team? Okay? And that's just being real.
Yep.
All right? It doesn't sound sexy. All right. I work on Word all day, and shout out to people that do. I'm not on,
I was gonna
uh,
say not to diss
yeah,
anybody. No, I'm just
no,
kidding.
no,
I'm
I don't
teasing.
mean,
I'm teasing.
yeah, I don't mean to diss anybody, but it's real. It's that working
Yep.
on Xbox, it's exciting. You're working on the most exciting part of the company, and I feel that way with what I do, right? Because I hear it. I hear the feedback from people I interact with every day. They always call me and they want to know about an incident or a case, and they're always like, "Man, it must be so cool to work there." I'm like, "Yeah, it kind of is."
Yeah.
So the thing is that I finally feel like if Xbox took their own avenue, WD,
Yeah.
they're not behind Sony anymore, trying to say, "Oh, what do you guys got releasing this holiday? Oh, we have God of War coming out. We need a God of War clone. We need something that looks like God of War because we need to compete with them directly." No,
Right.
if you guys are gonna bring on a God of War, we're let's do a few games here on this subscription model here, and we'll drive sales there with value. That's their sales pitch to everyone, value.
Yep.
And I
Yep.
think that it's working. I'm happy with the industry right now. I'm happy that these companies are doing their own thing. Do I kind of wish that PlayStation, I was pretty vocal about it on social media and on my channel. Do I wish that PlayStation was kind of giving their consumers more choice when it comes to day and date on the service that they're going to release? Hell yeah, I do. Why?
Right.
Because I want to save money, WD.
Yep.
That's why. Okay.
Yep.
So to answer your question, super happy with the industry, man.
Yeah. I agreed. Agreed. It's and thank you, man, for being on today. As we start to wrap things up, I just a couple more quick little questions just to
Sure.
kind of to bottle up the conversation, as it were. So I guess what is your favorite either franchise or game, or it can be both, and it can be more than one. Most people give me multiples. Um, that you're like, this is your go to game, or this is your most favorite game of all time. What game would that be?
Dude, there's so many games that I love. I'm sure everybody says the same thing, right?
No, no, I've
Cur-
had
I,
quite a few different answers.
all right. So my favorite franchise on the Xbox platform, first party, is Gears of War.
Good game.
Yeah, I love that universe even more than the Halo universe, to be honest with you.
Yep.
Um, but I would say that my current favorite game, WD, without lying to you, is Doom, man. The Doom, the 2016
Yeah.
remake, and as well as Doom Eternal.
Yes.
Man, there's just something, I don't know if it's the machismo of the game, the rip and
Yeah. Yeah.
tear.
Yeah. Hmm.
I don't know what it is, man. There's nothing that relieves my stress better than playing that game. It's the ultimate, what I call, male simulator. Okay, and
Yep.
I don't know if you know what I mean by that, dude. I mean, you feel
I
like a
do.
badass when you play that game.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
All right, and dude, that's the game that I can play all day and I don't get bored. Playing that horde mode, I can play over and over and over and just sit there and shoot the demons. And that currently that's probably my go-to franchise right now if I had to pick one. To be honest with you,
Nice.
um,
Nice.
favorite game of all time though. Let me answer that one real
Yeah. Go ahead.
fast.
That's tough. I
Man,
know.
yeah, it is because I heard David Jaffe say this the other day, and I kind of agree with him. There's games tied to nostalgia, and then there's games that you really played and you're like, dude, what an experience.
Yeah.
Um, I would say, man, honestly, God of War 3, man, on the PS3.
Good
And
game. Solid.
even as an Xbox centric gamer,
Hmm.
man, there was something about that game. Let me reminisce on it, okay?
Yeah. Yeah. I'll
That's
give you a
been
minute or
the
two.
that's been the only game that I literally remember every single minute of it, and the emotions that I felt while I was playing it. Okay.
Yeah.
I remember that vividly when that first boss fight comes out and Poseidon comes out with the horse thing and the water.
Yeah.
Dude, I put my controller down. I got up.
Mhm.
This was my face right here. And I
Uh,
and I remember thinking, this is beautiful, man.
yeah.
You know, this is what gaming is all about. This is what it's about, you know. And the thing is that, man, I remember pacing back and forth in my apartment at the time.
Mhm.
Oh, all right, here we go. The only
Mhm.
game that's ever done that to me, brother. I
Yeah.
swear to you. I've played thousands of games, thousands of
Yeah.
hours. The only game that has made me put down my controller and say, "Let me am I seeing what I'm seeing right now?"
Yeah.
was God of War 3.
It's great that it can invoke such feelings and emotions out of people. That's why I love gaming. I really do. I
Yeah,
mean,
man.
different things for different people, but for me and obviously for you, gaming is just a big part of it's not only entertainment, but it's a release.
Right.
Something you can get into to get away from other things maybe, or
Right.
something to get into to meet up with your friends and have a good
Right.
community together. So there's so many good avenues to gaming. So I
And
that's a good
and
choice.
and thank you. And the thing, WD, that I think is so important, right, is that
Hmm.
like me and you are engaged in a conversation right now.
Yeah.
There's many things that can do this. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
So it could be movies, it could be comics, it could be whatever
Hmm.
shows. Okay, it
Yep.
could be the statue sitting back here.
Hmm.
But there's
Can I ask you
something
about that in a
about
minute?
yeah, but there's something about gaming
Yeah.
that the emotions that I just spoke about right now, you can relate to what I'm saying, and it
Yep.
helps us connect. It
Yes.
doesn't matter what ethnicity you are, it doesn't matter what background you have, it doesn't matter if you're a professional, if you're a student, it doesn't matter, brother. We can connect through the emotion, what we felt, what we saw, and the
Hmm.
story, what it meant to us, the gameplay. We can relate to that, and I think that that's something that is magical, and that's something, man, that you got to tip your hat to gaming, because I I don't feel those things with other mediums. I've never have, not
Right.
even close.
Yeah. I'm with you. John, I got one last question for you, and we'll wrap
Sure.
things up.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
so I guess it's going to be this is usually it's a hard one, but because some people I talk to have some insight and insider stuff, and I'm not sure what you do or not. But well, let's just preface it by saying, what game that is, I guess, public knowledge that is either in the works or releasing that you're most looking forward to that isn't out yet. That's something that's coming, or an expansion or something to something coming out. What is something you're most looking forward to? It's like, man, I can't wait for this to come out.
Wow. I mean, there's a lot of choices there.
Of course, you can have more than one.
Obviously, yeah, obviously looking forward to God of War Ragnarok. We just talked about God of War
Hmm.
3. I thought the God of War reboot, while I didn't feel the same magical thing that I felt with God of War 3,
Right.
I appreciated the experience. I thought it was Sony's best game that they have, hands down, that they had during the PS4 generation. Um, I would say, to be 100% honest with you,
Yeah.
WD, I gotta give it to whatever game id Software is working on.
Okay.
Okay, so
Yeah.
if that means that we're gonna see another Doom game come, uh, this Xbox showcase, I'm gonna be streaming it. You're gonna see me stand up and standing ovation. If it's Quake, I want to see them reimagine Quake in the same fashion that they did Doom. I
Yep.
think that, without BSing you, id might be my favorite first person shooter developer out there. It's just so
Nice.
smooth. The
Yeah.
gameplay is
Yeah.
so satisfying. So whatever it is working on, um,
That's your
is what
jam,
I'm.
huh?
That's my jam right now, dude. It's clicking on all cylinders. I think I'm in the point of my life. where my experiences, my love for, the rock music, it's just coming together, man. There's just something that they're just hitting the right notes.
Yeah, yeah. Awesome, awesome. John, thank you so much for being a part of this today, man. I really appreciate you to being on and talking to you,
Thank you.
and hopefully you had as much fun as I did.
Oh,
So,
for sure.
and it's good because it's the conversation is just it's a one on one kind of a get to know each other. But this way, the people out there that are going to be tuning in and watching this will be able to get to know you a little better and maybe come check out your channel. And with that said, so where can everybody find you and what to look for?
Yeah, absolutely. I know that you're gonna probably link my links and stuff
Oh yeah,
down
everything will
below.
be below. Yep.
You can find me if you just refer to my Twitter, exactly how it's spelled on the screen there, the X, John Wolf, and then the X to
Hmm.
end it. There I have linked my YouTube channel, as well as there's also a link to where you can go to my gamer tags, my PSN, and everything except for the Nintendo code. Because, dude, I feel like
That's tough.
I feel like
Yep.
if that's like putting your social security online,
Yep.
uh, Nintendo, that's something they got to work on. They
Yep.
really do. That whole friends code thing, I've never been a fan of, and I don't think nobody is, and I think it's so inconvenient.
Yep.
So yeah, John Wolf and Web Dave, I just want to say, man, that honestly, I've listened to a handful of your episodes. I think you're doing a fantastic job, man. You really
Thanks,
are.
sir.
Keep at it, dude. You got a gift for this. Great voice, great setup there, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to be on here to just talk about myself, man. I really do appreciate it. And to anyone listening out there, just stop over my channel, give me a chance.
Yeah,
Just again, just listen to what I gotta say. And if I'm not looking for people that agree with me, man. I'm just looking for people that want to engage in conversation. Is more importantly what I'm looking for. So thank you again, Web Dave. This has been awesome, dude. Appreciate you, man. And I'll see you on Friday on the panel with Boom.
that's right. It sounds great. John, thank you so much for being here. Also, just like remind everybody that you can find us at outbreakpodcast.com. Our links to all our social media sites and everything are there. Proud to be a panel member along with John for Breakfast with
Sure.
Boom every Friday morning at, let's see, it's 9 a.m. Central
10
Standard
a.m.
Time.
I know it's my
So
time's 10 a.m.
there you go, 10 for you. There you go. There you go. So anyway, thank you for everybody for joining us here on Outbreak Gamers.